It also that you can picture.
I've collected 500 billion, and I can only show you borehole.
It's politics.
For me, it is what I call Iberberism. I beg your pardon. Go and search for it, my friend.
It's current affairs.
4 years course, metamorphosing into 6 years.
And news that affects you.
What an academic academic in their leadership rococo, leadership rababare.
It's all the serious stuff,
but with a light-hearted twist.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Aghogho.
Join us 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Right here.
On Hard Facts. On Hard Facts. Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. This is where we bring you the best insights into today's most important topics. We break them down, we give you the facts so that you can form an informed opinion. And any show you miss, you can watch online. Go to Facebook, go to YouTube, go to Twitter, Nigeria Info FM. I have a great show for you today. We're starting with the big three. Federal High Court disqualifies APC from Bayelsa Guber Election. Lagos State government gives conditions for reopening churches that it closed for noise pollution. Snatch ballot boxes and die. Police say ahead of polls in Bayelsa and Kogi. It's Thursday, so we're bringing you eyewitness. But today is going to be a bit different. We'll start our look ahead at the elections in Bayelsa and Kogi. We have Nigeria Info on both in both states, Nigeria Info teams in both states, and we're going to be bringing you the latest reports from there. Now, we've heard the court has stopped the APC from contesting in Bayelsa, and so we're going to bring you reactions about that news story as well. On the Big Hard Fact, we'll continue looking at the upcoming election. And when it's time for the news, you will hang around, and afterwards we're talking to Pat Utomi. Ireti Bakare Yusuf is talking to Pat Utomi on Listed Legation today. Yes, you know Pat Utomi, the policymaker. You know Pat Utomi, the statesman. But do you know Pat Utomi, the young man who grew up in Lagos? Do you know his vision of Lagos? That's what Listed Legation is about. You get to see Lagos through the eyes of some of your favorite people. And today, Pat Utomi is up at 6:30. As usual, throughout the show, we're bringing you the latest updates from the world of news, sports, entertainment, as well as business. But don't forget, you can watch this on Facebook. We're streaming right now. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. We're also streaming on YouTube, so you can also watch via YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Let's get right into the big three.
This is the Big Three.
The big three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You know what to expect on the big three? Stories that everybody's talking about right now. Do Nigerian political parties have a problem following the rules? Do they? Is noise pollution from places of worship a problem in your area? It is in my area. Should the police threaten ballot box snatchers with death? We had that conversation during the elections earlier this year. And now here we are again, having them yet again. Let's get into the stories. The Federal High Court in Yenagoa has ruled that the All Progressives Congress APC cannot field candidates in Saturday's Bayelsa state gubernatorial election. This was the court's decision in a case brought against the APC by a contestant in its September 4th Guber primaries, Henikin Lukubiri, a former member of the National Assembly and a former Minister of State for Agriculture in President Buhari's first term, alleged in his suit that the results announced by the party were illegitimate and that he had been the actual winner of the primary, not Chief David Lyon, who was declared the winner. The judge at the High Court held that the APC had failed to follow its own guidelines for conducting the election. Specifically, the party's rule states that the primary result must be declared by the returning officer for the pre-election, who was Governor Mike Kalabuni of Yobe. However, it was the secretary of the election committee, Senator Emmanuel Ochega, who ended up making the declaration. The court also held that the APC violated its own rules by setting up a committee with one member instead of 7. As such, the court held that no valid primaries were held and has instructed INEC to bar the APC from the ballot. So there you have it. Now, while we were on air, news broke And INEC is informing us that it's too late to remove APC from the printed ballot papers, but any vote cast for APC is a wasted one. Now, the APC has been blocked from the Bayelsa Guber Election, and this must be a big disappointment for supporters of the party in Bayelsa, whether they were back in Lubobiri or they were back in Lion. Now they will not have a candidate to vote for at all. And this is not the first time that this is happening to the APC this year. Remember that the party was barred from fielding candidates for any of the elections in Rivers State? That's gubernatorial, National Assembly, State Assembly. They didn't have any candidates. And the same thing happened to the APC again in Zamfara State. There, they actually contested the election before the court judgment. And so all their candidates who had won the general election were now disqualified. And in all those cases, the crisis was caused by the same problems in the party. There was a clash of factions, and the clash couldn't be resolved. And one side or both sides now attempted to break the party rules to make sure that their own candidate got the party ticket. But it did not end there, because in all the cases, the losing faction went to court. And in all the cases, the court found that the party had not followed the rules. Now, let me point out that the court is talking about the party's own rules. So, the state party of the APC in Rivers, the state party of the APC in Zamfara, and the state party of the APC in Bayelsa has been found guilty of violating and ignoring the rules of the party itself. And I have to ask why. Why has the problem of discipline gotten so bad that our political parties cannot be trusted to obey the rules, even within themselves? And remember, the PDP has had this problem as well. So it's not an APC problem only. The PDP has suffered this as well. Remember cases like Omehia versus Amechi. What can INEC do to checkmate all of this in discipline? Because it's the voters that suffer the most for it. The voters end up being denied choices because the parties who are supposed to give them choices end up getting themselves disqualified. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. What are your thoughts on the sheer indiscipline of our party leaders and our political parties in Nigeria? I am Sandra Ezekwesili. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Leave me comments on Facebook as well. I'm going to take them immediately we come back from this commercial break. YouTube is also available. YouTube is Nigeria Info FM, and Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info. is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
When you call, you can still talk about the first story. As we move on to the second story, show us you have permission from your neighborhood before we let you reopen. That's the message from the Lagos state government to all the places of worship and event centers that it recently shut down for noise pollution. According to the State Ministry for Environment and Water Resources, the closed down establishments must submit a letter of guarantee from the Residents Association before they are reopened. The Residents Association, where they are cited, that is, the letter must state that the residents will guarantee that the establishment will not exceed the legal sound level. The ministry also said that the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA, has been fully authorized and mandated to enforce all public noise pollution laws. The ministry urged places of worship, event centers, and other places of mass gathering to pay attention to the laws and avoid being a public nuisance with noise. The ministry is constantly flooded with complaints from residents about high levels of noise at all hours of the day and night. I wonder whether these noise pollution laws also apply to the people in my estate who start playing very loud music at 2 a.m. or start praying with megaphone at 4 a.m. These are private citizens, so I wonder whether LASEPA will be able to do anything. I don't know, maybe seize their megaphones or something. LASEPA, please, if you're listening to me, help me. My estate, I'll tell you where my estate is so you can pick them up. But on a serious note, this issue of noise pollution tends to become a bit controversial. Many people say there should be freedom of worship. And if worship means singing loudly or praying loudly or preaching loudly, nobody should interfere. But others say there is a line between freedom of worship and public nuisance. The example they often give is the use of loudspeakers to project the sound of prayer or singing or preaching. But I've heard people who have pointed out that the bigger problem is zoning. They say churches and mosques and event centers should not be in the same residential areas. They should be in commercial areas so that they don't disturb anybody's homes. So according to people who say this, the major problem is government, who has permitted these establishments to be sited in residential areas. But I find it very interesting that government is recognizing Residents Association and giving them a say in this legal matter. We all know how important residents associations are in our day-to-day lives. They make sure that we have light, that they make sure we have security. They even fix roads sometimes. So is government embracing them finally as a partner? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? What do you think about this noise pollution law? What do you think about government making the Residents Association a stakeholder? Is making noise part of religious freedom, or have places of worship gone too far? Should government be blamed for not enforcing zoning regulations, or are the places of worship being insensitive and lawless? I'm curious what you think. 01277 0993 01277 1993 01277 2993 and 01277 3993. Hello, Victor in Ikorodu.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, Victor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
I said nice speaking to you again today.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, concerning the position of this religious, I'd like to say by saying, yes, in one way or the other, it's a public pollution. It disturbs the people around a certain area that this being taken.
Victor, your line is breaking up. You're going to have to call us back. Let's talk to Oliver. Oliver is currently in Apapa, I'm guessing. Oliver, are you in Apapa?
No, I'm at Lagos Island.
All right, welcome.
Yeah.
Hello, go ahead. You're live on the show.
Okay, what happened is this, APC. their party, they should try to structure their party where it's supposed to be. This is a question of godfatherism. It's spoiling that party.
Okay.
That's the problem they are having.
But it's not just APC. It happened with PDP as well now.
That was PDP now. It was during the Celestine Omeh and Amechi now. And they solved it. They solved it amicably during that period.
They didn't solve it amicably. They went to court now. One person's tenure started and ended halfway. Another person now started as governor.
Their own what was rather an easy one now. Not like this APC own.
Okay. So what do you think is causing it?
They should forget about godfatherism. They should do something straight, go straight to the point. Who is supposed to contest? They should allow that person to contest to avoid all these problems.
All these problems. Oliver, thank you for calling me. Peter in Ikorodu, hi.
Good evening, Sandra. How are you?
I'm very well. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Number one, there is no proper orientation on this thing. They should go out. The chairman or the commissioner should come to radio to tell the people the implication of all these things. For example, all the mosques, they have this outside speaker. Some mosques, they have about 5 outside speaker direct to different locations on their church. So even though if it is they want to use loudspeaker, if it is those who are worshiping inside the church, they use loudspeaker. That is another thing. They put it up for to disturb everybody. So I believe that there should be a public this thing. They should come forward to radio, to newspaper, to condemn the situation. This is it's everywhere. On Sunday, the mosque, and then this night vigil, you cannot sleep. So there should be proper orientation and proper the good publicity should be, and the implication, the liability of the offense should be well pronounced for people to know. It's not by just saying somewhere and say they are doing it and they are doing this and that. So there should be proper orientation. So this is to come. This is a real problem.
All right.
And it's causing health hazard in this, especially in this one. In some places, there are 10 churches in the street. 10 in the street. And all of them have loudspeaker. Up.
Giving us headache.
10. In Ikorodu here, I can show you.
So is it a failure of government, or are the churches and the mosques insensitive and lawless?
It's not the failure of the churches. It's the failure of those who make the law, and there is no implementation. You understand?
Okay.
That people believe that even though if you go to them, they say that who are you, this and that. If they come, some of their staff, environmental protection agents, if they come today, they will just see maybe 1 or 2 days. Third day, they have started it again. They should carry ladder up there, remove the outside figure, remove their this thing that they used to do the noise, and then cut it away. This is what they should be doing, and there should be proper orientation.
Let me tell you.
I think this thing is 500,000. They should let them know. Anybody who disobey the law should be fined accordingly.
All right, Peter, thank you for calling me. Let me talk to Wasiu in Victoria Island. Wasiu, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I want to discuss about the issue of the noise pollution about the churches and mosques.
Go ahead.
Government is the one that is discussing it. They are compromising. Most of these churches, most of the time programs are on, or the mosque. You don't see anybody, law enforcement agent, to come around. They always make noise that people are disturbing. How many arrests have they made? Who have been prosecuted regarding this? The laws are there, but they are not making use of the law. They have been saying this thing over and over and over. The 20 local governments we have in Lagos State, how many people have been prosecuted? I live in Ikorodu. There are some places, midnight you'll be hearing people making noise. They will talk about it at the CDA level, but nothing is done. So government is compromising. They should stop telling us that people are making noise. We had last week or whatever. It is the fact that they are not doing what they're supposed to do. They should let task force be going around. Just the way last man arrest people. How many people have they prosecuted in the last 1 year? That's my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much, Wasiu, for calling to make it. Victor is in Ikeja. Hello, Victor. Thank you for calling me, Victor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead. You're live on the show.
Okay. Just want to talk about this issue of churches in residence areas. So I don't think. Well, personally, left for me, I hate it because sometimes you talk of when I was living in Alausa. Oh gosh, it was just like hell. When you come back and say you want to rest or whatever, you will hear mic, whatever, speakers or whatever. Yeah, the place I do work at, Orison TV station, just along that street, along that Coca Street, Jesus. There was sometimes when they would start their noise, it would be as if say God is even deaf. Is not hearing. My Jesus. No, all those things, all those noise and churches, they used to piss someone off. Honestly, at least government should look on what to do according to others. At least if it is something or law or whatever, they will even tell them where they should. At least not to have church or build church or even rent a place within places where people are living.
But let me ask you something, Victor. Is making noise part of religious freedom, or have places of worship gone too far?
I don't know how to answer that question, but let me just say this. I'm not against churches worshiping and noise. You understand? But at least in a place that people are living,
can you hear me?
At least they should have rest. Not when you go out for work, church.
You can see me too.
That I'm talking of now. There are not less than, let me say, 15 churches at Coca Street along the College Road. If you count all the churches there, this one may be in the night, when people will come back in the night to rest, because I'm sure there are so many people living there. That is how also the one activity or the other. The noise from morning, noise from morning till night, till daybreak, till at least okay. Even if I say okay, I want to park out from that area. Maybe I'm living in such area. I want to park out. You also go to another place. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. When I went to visit one of my friends at Chevron Estate Lekki, he was living close to one Catholic church like that. So whenever they have any occasion, whatever, there is no place that is even better.
All right, Victor, let me talk to Michael, who actually lives in Chevron. Michael, hi.
Fine, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, thanks for calling me. Do you think making noise is part of religious freedom, or have places of worship gone too far?
This issue, it has been a problem in our society today. And let me say that government have failed from the very beginning. How would they now try to adjust it? If they want to intervene, it would be as if they are persecuting the church. You understand?
Okay. Yeah, but it's not just church. It's churches and mosques. It's not facing only churches. Even the mosques. Their own, if they want to pray on a Friday, you see them block the road. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The law, the Lagos noise pollution law is for the churches, the mosques, the event centers, anybody that makes noise.
The laws are not there. Even if the law is there, that means it's not working.
They're not implementing it.
If they want to intervene, it would be as if they are persecuting, the Muslim and the Christian. So I don't know how they will go about it. The thing has been a problem.
Okay.
I remember there was a time I wanted to go and write exam, and before I would get to a particular mosque, they have blocked. The driver have to park until the pray finish, and I'm going late.
Let me take you away from the church story now. Let me ask you, why do you think that our political parties cannot be trusted to obey the rules even within their own parties?
Sorry, pardon with your question.
Story one, right? We talked about the APC getting disqualified from Bayelsa. And I want to know what you think about why our political parties cannot be trusted to obey the rules of their own party.
Okay. They know what they are doing there. They are not just straightforward. That is just it.
Okay, not straightforward. That's it. Let's talk to Patrick in Ikoton. Patrick, hi.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon to you.
I'm happy to get connected with you.
Yes, I'm happy to talk to you as well. Go ahead.
I want to contribute in the topic of the discussion.
Yes, which one? Oh, great to have you on the show. I'm so happy to hear first-time callers. So which story do you want to react to? The APC disqualification or the church?
I want to contribute concerning the church.
Okay.
Because I'm a Christian, so I want to contribute. Then I want to talk about the noise pollution.
Okay.
About the churches. Of course, noise is very, very bad, most especially in the human system as well. But at times, when people contribute, people say that at times 10 churches or 5 churches in a particular location. I think with that blame should go to the local government. I know that those churches, most of them are being registered and being encouraged. Because when a church comes around to register, you should find out where that church is being located, how many churches are around it. So you know how many of them to approve. Because giving a kind of license to them, you are encouraging others. And at the same time, talking about the noise in the morning, you in particular talk about earlier they call it morning cry as a morning preaching. In my area, I remember where I moved some time ago. I think I happened to be part of the people that participated in the morning cry. I know that area happened to be that at something 6 o'clock, people don't pass that place. They call it pickpockets and all that. But I remember that each time we go around to minister, we do distract them.
So you're one of the people I want to arrest. You're one of the people making sure I'm not sleeping, eh?
Listen to me now.
I'm listening now. Why can't you do your prayer in private? Why can't your prayer be in your private house? Why are you disturbing the neighborhood?
Excuse me, let me what the issue that it depends. It's not something that lasts 3 hours, 4 hours. It's something that lasts maybe 1 hour, 30 minutes and all that.
1 hour, 30 minutes, that's when the sleep is sweet and your noise is waking me up. It's noise pollution.
Excuse me, but I want to tell you that everything has it has a positive and negative aspect of it.
And the positive aspect is what?
I remember that we witnessed an issue. Those market women, a particular day, we are going to a market, and those people came with a bike to snatch a woman, and it happened to be where we are ministering, and that stopped them. They couldn't be able to succeed with it, and many occasions like that. And I believe that within that period, that area happened to be, I think, there is a kind of hope for people. People comes out, they could be able to go.
So the noise was able to help people come out early in the day. Patrick, thank you so much for calling me. Make sure you call me again. We've got Adedayo. Hello, Adedayo.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How's the Beju today?
Oh, we are fine.
Okay, go ahead.
I think about the noise pollution. You are asking whether the noise is a part of the religion. I think everybody wants to do something, either they know whether it is offense or not. But it is the ability of those in charge to correct those their behavior, whether it is wrong or right, for them to do their job. Thought can be everywhere and making noise. Some of them may not know that they are making noise to disturb others. But it's the failure of our government to control their activities. I think that's the problem we have in this part of the world. Our government don't take action when it is necessary. They take action when they like it or when they feel like. Those agencies that are in charge are not really taking the right steps to control the activities of the church. We can have 10 churches in one street. It's not a problem to me. If they are duly registered and they are properly organized by the agencies in charge of controlling the noise pollution and other things.
Okay. Adedayo, thank you for calling me. My final call is from Rafiat. Rafiat, hi.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Years back, the law used to work against this noise pollution thing. There used to be an email where you could send an email, send location of the place, and there were a few places that have been blocked, and some churches even closed down until they had like soundproof speakers. But But lately, I haven't really seen anything effective. I was even looking for the email a few years back because I have like 2 things I want to report in my area. I'm serious. Like, I have one right at the back of my room. I have one right, and it's like service every single day. I'm not kidding you.
My God.
Service happens as
Don't they have jobs?
5. Like, I've always wondered. I even tweeted about it. Like, it's only in Lagos I see that people have service from Monday to Saturday. You don't go to work.
Maybe that's why they have to go to church to pray for work.
Honestly, so there used to be an email. I don't know if, do what you do to help us get that email again.
Okay.
Yeah, because there used to be an email, and I know a few churches. In fact, on Nigerian Info, it has been discussed about how a few churches were locked down because of reports from neighborhood. So that email that you have to get soundproof before you're able to open up back. As for the political parties, oh God. There's no structure. That's just what I'm going to say. I don't even understand how a party chairman gets suspended for not following the rules.
I don't know.
Who are the people that came together to suspend him and he wasn't there? I don't even understand. I feel like the lack of structure and the fact that people can easily just do what we call cross-carpeting doesn't even exactly help the political system. Because somebody that is in this party tomorrow, you wake up and is already in Green Party tomorrow. So the lack of structure is a really big issue. I think that it's high time that they rejig maybe the constitution as regards political parties. Because first off, they are too much. Secondly, there is no law and order. We don't even understand what the ideologies are. You cannot particularly say, okay, this party, this is what they stand for. This one, this is what they stand for. It's really, it's a chaos.
Let's talk about this some more at 4 and 5. Rafia, thank you so much for calling me. Ahead of the Guber elections, the police has warned politicians in Bayelsa and Kogi states that they would pay for snatching ballot boxes on Saturday with their lives. Deputy Inspector General for Operations Abdul Majid Ali said the police force was sick and tired of politicians in those 2 states holding the nation to ransom at every election and has promised to use a firm hand on Saturday. Speaking specifically about ballot snatching, Ali said, quote, "Any one court will not be spared and will not do that ever again." End of quote. Ali also described some of the tactics and measures that the police had put in place for Saturday. According to him, the police had studied all the historical hotspots for violence as well as compiled lists of likely offenders and troublemakers. Extra personnel had been deployed for surveillance of flashpoints and key individuals and had been given instructions to act swiftly at the first sign of irregularity. You've heard it from the police. They're sick and tired of electoral malpractice in Bayelsa and Kogi. But the question becomes, is death the penalty for snatching a ballot box? Now, clearly, stealing a ballot box is a crime and it should be punished. In the same way, stealing a phone is a crime, or assault. There are so many crimes. Some are more serious than others. And there are also numerous punishments meant to fit the crime. Now, in Nigerian law, the penalty for snatching ballot boxes is imprisonment and or a fine. Nowhere in the law is death called for. So the question becomes, why is the police threatening death? Now, there's another side to this issue. Oftentimes, the people who are snatching ballot boxes are allegedly armed. They're political thugs. So there's the case where when the police tries to arrest them, it degenerates into a gunfight. So there are some observers who have said, maybe that's what the police is talking about. Then there are those who say, but the police should not be talking about taking lives, even before anything has happened. They point out that in so many cases, even outside of elections, we see the police get into a situation and they shoot first and ask questions later. And a lot of the time, innocent people get killed. That was the case with Kolade Johnson, for example. So for them, the police shouldn't be making these types of comments. And I wonder what you think. What's your view? Do you understand where the police is coming from, or do you believe that they shouldn't be talking about taking lives, since they are not the court and since the crime doesn't even call for the death penalty? 01277 0993 01277 1993, 01277 2993 or 01277 Let me go to Facebook and see what comments have been left for me. Facebook is Nigeria Info FM, Nigeria Info 99.3. That's our Facebook. You can also check YouTube, where we're streaming this particular conversation live. YouTube Nigeria Info FM. I have to say, by the way, that we're going to be taking you live to Kogi and Bayelsa, where you can actually watch. Remember that Nigeria Info is a visual radio station, so you can see your radio now. So what that means is you can see our reporters who are on the ground in Kogi and in Bayelsa as they bring you live reports about what's going on there. We've got Lawson Ebuka who says, but what will happen if after the election PDP wins in Bayelsa and the appeal court nullifies the ruling of the High Court? Because I am definitely sure that they will appeal this decision. Lawson, I don't know. And AG Michael says, I will be the happiest man on earth if it happens in Kogi as well. And we have Hadiwale Kayode who says, it is the police that compromises. Okay. Bukata Ishakuzuya says, I hope APC will repeat these mistakes in 2023 elections, beginning from presidential to state assemblies, since they're not ready to learn. If I am meant to say this, the government are doing the wrong thing because they themselves are the ones blocking the roads while you cannot see the Christians doing so. The mosque speakers are at the top of the building while the speakers of the church are inside the building. In the early morning hour, you get to hear from the mosque prayers through their speakers. In fact, churches are seen in a street like 4 to 5 places. God will help us all. Namdi, you're telling Nigerians who have a different experience that your own experience supersedes theirs, because you've had people who have called into the show and talked about their own experiences. They've talked about the fact that some streets have 10 churches. And yes, maybe the churches have their speakers inside the church, but it's still loud enough to bother the residents in those particular areas. I'll take one final call from Chinedu, who is in Aghogho Estate. Chinedu, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Concerning the police talking of box snatcher, they pay with their life. It is a very common statement. If our president can make such a statement, anybody can do it. We don't value life here. The kill. The senator are there, head speech, death sentence. What's wrong with this? Are they blood suckers? What's wrong with them? Why they are not afraid of killing human beings? The ones that are killing in the north, is it not enough for them?
All right, so let's be careful what we're saying, okay? Let's not veer off into the realms of hate speech, because we don't exactly know what hate speech is yet. All right, so coming up, let's give you updates from Kogi and Bayelsa. You can talk about Kogi and Bayelsa from 4 until 6 today, because that's where we're focusing. We're going to bring you updates between 4 and 5. Eyewitness is supposed to happen at that time, but we're doing Eyewitness a bit different today. We're bringing you reports live from Kogi State and Bayelsa, where gubernatorial elections are supposed to happen on Saturday. Don't forget that Nigeria Info is covering that election for you live. So tune in from 7:30 this Saturday to get all of the updates and all of the analysis right here on your number one news, talk and sports radio station.
99.3 Nigeria Info.